Awesome. Okay. So President Barack Obama is planning on meeting with leaders of Egypt and Palestine the next couple of days, and so I'm just trying to find out from people, like, what do you think? Do you think he'll be able to follow through on his initiatives and his negotiations to bring peace to this raging conflict that has existed for centuries?
No. No matter how far he gets with the Palestinians, I think there's a problem with the Palestinians are too fractured. Mahmoud Abbas won't be able to deliver on anything because of Hamas. Hamas won't be willing to do anything. They're basically going to be the thorn in everyone's side for the negotiation. The Egyptians, he'll probably fare pretty well with, but again, I don't think it's going to matter a whole lot. They don't have a lot of leverage over the Palestinians or the Israelis. With the Israelis, I think Obama is essentially going to get nowhere because Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, he's going to be fairly hardline on the issue, and he's already proven that he's willing to buck American presidents in the past on this, and I don't really see that Obama's going to do too much farther, even if he does something that's never happened in the past, like threaten to cut off U.S. aid. I'm not really convinced that Netanyahu will budge on anything. He hasn't even acceded to the Palestinians' right to have a state, so I don't see that he's going to go anywhere, really. So no matter how hard Obama push, I think he's doomed to failure at this point, unless massive changes happen.
What kind of changes?
Netanyahu would have to suddenly come around and say that the Palestinians do have a right to have a state, and then go from there. That's the biggest stumbling block right now. Hamas would also probably have to change. They would have to do one of two things. Either the most likely scenario is they have to agree to a permanent ceasefire, wherein they essentially say, we still hate you and we still don't acknowledge your right to exist, but we won't fight you over it, which is unlikely given Hamas's political base and their actions in the past. It would also probably have to hinge somewhere around the fact that the Israelis would have to at least give up some sort of territory for peace, and I don't foresee that happening under Netanyahu anytime soon. And the Palestinians would have to give unconditional guarantees of Israeli security, which, with Hamas in the picture, is not likely to happen. At the very least, they're going to maintain that, in principle, they have the right to fight, and that's probably going to be where the Israelis don't agree with, and that's going to be a huge sticking point.
I recently talked to an ex-Marine who said that the only way that can even be remote peace is economically, because he said that they're both so different religiously and politically that he doesn't think that would you agree with that?
I don't know if I would agree that economics is the sole solution. I think religiously, yeah, they're obviously tremendously different, but I think if you separated them from each other enough, I think that they would be willing to live in peace, because all conflicts eventually reach this tipping point where that people just kind of get tired, no matter what the motivation. And I think that they would agree to basically go into their neutral corners for a while. But if you did do, I guess he was saying that if you give them economic benefits to peace, that would work. Yeah, that would be a huge point. If you started developing the Palestinian territories, that would definitely help, because the Palestinians right now, they don't have much to lose, so there's not a whole lot the Israelis can threaten them with. But if you started making their lives more comfortable and giving the Israelis essentially something to attack, they would probably be less willing to engage in fighting.
Okay. And just lastly, like, what is your major and what year are you?
I'm a senior political science major.
Okay. And are you still with Model UN?
I'm graduating in like a week.
I mean, when this year, were you
yeah,
still
was,
like involved?
I was the president of Model
So you're
UN.
still, okay, I didn't know how up to date that was. Okay.
It's fairly up to date.
All right. Thank you so much.